Thanks for applying for our next Leadership Series class. We created this short video to show you how to set up your interview using the scheduling app on our website. Before we begin, please know that if you have any trouble setting up your interview, all you have to do is send us an email at leaders@advocatesinaction.org or call our toll-free number at 1-877-532-5543. So if you look at the top of this web page, our scheduling page, you'll see a calendar to let you know that we have interviews available on Tuesday, February 2nd, Wednesday, February 3rd, and Thursday, February 4th. And then below that, you'll see that the available times every day are 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and 3 p.m. And your interview won't take any more than half an hour tops, but we have time in between because we had to take a break because that's a lot of Zooming. So now what you want to do is scroll down the page to see the actual scheduling app. So here's what our scheduling app looks like. It has the one of our favorite phrases on the top here, nothing about us without us, because we believe people should be like central in their lives and not have people just talking about them or over them. And then it has our little ANA logo there, which is a person with stars around him and the words Advocates in Action, and in front of a Rhode Island the map of Rhode Island. And then it says here, interviews for the Leadership Series class of 2021. So you are in the right place. And you'll notice it says that they're 30 minutes long. So you can just count on that. It's not going to be more than 30 minutes. And so here's the dates. So you see, these are the same 3 dates that we just told you about above. There's Tuesday, February 2nd, Wednesday, February 3rd, and Thursday, February 4th. So say you want to pick Wednesday. What you do is, you see how my mouse is an arrow right now? When I put it over like these other dates, it doesn't do anything. It just stays an arrow. But when I put it over the dates, the 3 dates that we have interviews, it turns a darker blue and the arrow turns into a hand. That means you can click it and it's going to do something. So I'm going to click Wednesday. And say I wanted to do it at 1 o'clock. Oh, there's not an interview at 1 o'clock. Oh boy. All right, well, you know what you can do? It's okay. The reason there's not one at 1 o'clock this day is because somebody already scheduled it. So obviously they scheduled one at 11 because that's missing, and at 1 because 1's missing. But don't worry, because if you really want to do it on Wednesday, you can look at the other days. So you can look at Thursday, and Thursday has all 6 dates available still. Ooh. And then Tuesday, no, Tuesday doesn't have a 1 o'clock either. So if you want 1 o'clock, you're going to have to do Thursday. This is an example of why you really want to schedule your interview as soon as possible before the date and the time you want is taken. So let's click on Thursday, though. And there's the 1 o'clock time slot. So let's click 1 o'clock. And you'll notice here, these also make my, because I can click on them, my arrow also turns into a hand. And if I click a time and it's not the time I want, like I did 10 o'clock, that's not what I meant. I'm 11 o'clock, nope, that's not it either. 1 o'clock, I wanted 1 o'clock. So I click 1 o'clock, and you'll see on the left there's a dark colored box with the time, 1 o'clock in it, and on the right there's a blue box that says the word confirm. And see how when I put my mouse over it, the arrow turns into a hand and it gets a different color blue. So you click it, and there you go. Now, here is a dialog box to enter more information. So let's keep going and set up a pretend interview to show you how to do this. So first you enter your first name, and you'll notice because there's an asterisk there, that means it's required. So anytime you see an asterisk, which looks like this, the little star, then you see it says that this question is required if you see an asterisk. So that means the first name and the last name and the email are the 3 first things that are required. So I'm going to put my name, Donald, and then I'm going to put Duck, because that's my last name. So Donald Duck's email is duckskanai, because we're related, at gmail.com. It's really important that you put the right address and you use the full format, because if you didn't put, like, for example, you left off that .com, you'll see, I'll show you later what happens. You're going to get an error message and you're not going to be able to set up your interview. But you did enter it that way, enter the right address. Now you see this box that said add guests. Don't click that yet because you might not need to. You would use that button if you plan to interview with another person who also applied, or if you plan to invite a guest to help you, like maybe you want to invite your mother or your staff person or somebody just to be at the interview, not to take the class with you, but just to come to the interview. So the first question, which see, it says it's required. I'm going to read it to you. Question 1 is required. If you're planning to take the class with another person, would you like to schedule your interview together? That's because you don't have to. Like say you're applying with your support person, but you don't want to take the class to interview with them. You want to be there by yourself to ask some questions or share some stuff. You can just, choose not to do that. You can say you each want your own interview. But if you want to have somebody interview with you, you would click yes. I want to interview at the same time as the person I'm taking the class with. If you don't want to, if you prefer to just do it by yourself, like we just said, you just click no. This third option says NA, which stands for not applicable. And the reason it's not applicable is because you say you didn't apply with anybody else. So some people applied as a team, like a person and their support person. But if that's not you, then you just click NA. And if you did apply with another person, but you're not sure yet who's going to be interviewing when, then just click I'm not sure. And if you click I'm not sure, make sure to email us with their name and their email address if you decide that you're going to be interviewing together, so we can send them an invitation. See this too? I'm clicking the different buttons to pick a different option. So if you change your mind, you just click on the other one instead. Like it's not written in stone. You can just click a different one to change it. The second question, question 2, I'll read it to you. It says, if you answered yes to question 1, write the name of the person you're interviewing with below. Then use the Add Guest button to enter their email so we can send them the link. And please remember to tell your applicant to follow up and tell them to check their email. So if you and your support person want to take the class together and you both sent in an application, you can interview together. Just say yes in the question above, and then put their name here, Mickey Mouse. Oops, Mickey Mouse. And then you would, like it said, you go up to the Add Guest button. You just left click that. It opens a box where you can put an email address. And Donald doesn't actually have, Mickey doesn't have their own email, but ANA said that they can use theirs. So ANA at advocatesinaction.org, because Mickey works part-time for Advocates in Action. Not really, no. Okay, the third question says, question 3, this is required. This question is required. See, it says it right there, and there's the asterisk, so you have to answer this one too. Will anyone be joining you at your interview to provide support? So this doesn't mean the person you're taking the class with. This means, like we said earlier, if you want to have your mom at the interview, or your girlfriend who is going to provide support, or somebody who's going to help you at your interview, not just somebody who's looking for something to do because they're bored, but a person who you want there because you need some support. You would say, yes, someone will be joining me. If you don't want someone there, just say, no, I'm going to be there by myself. And if you're not sure, then you know the drill. We just said it above. Just click that button and tell us as soon as you decide. And if you do decide to have someone join us, remember to send us their name, how they're related to you, and their email address, because we'll use that information to send them their own invitation to the Zoom meeting. So it says, if you entered yes, you put the name of the person who's going to be there to support you in this box. Like you say, Charlie Brown is going to be there to support me, and he's my support person. So you put their name and how they're related, and then you go back up to the guest box to enter their email address, because we need that so we can send them an invitation. Now here's the thing that might be confusing, but if you look at it, I'll explain it, and hopefully it's not. If you already added an email address, then you're not going to see the guest button. But that's because the box is already open where you can enter the email address. And how you do that is, see, there's Mickey Mouse's email address still there, so the box is open. And be careful not to click that X, because watch. Oh no! If you click the X, you accidentally will delete the email address, which is not a problem because you just add it again. Nothing with this is a problem, honestly. If you have a problem, if you have a concern with it, just call us and we'll help you. All right, and then you use the space bar to add another one, and see, it is in the correct format. So you add another one, and this one is we have a Gmail address too. So we've got all kinds of addresses, and once you're in the class, you'll have all kinds of addresses too, or at least one. So advocates.action@gmail.com. That's the other person, that's Donald Duck's friend, a support person, Charlie Brown's email. So so that question's required. You say yes. We put their name. We put that they're your support person, and we put their address. So both those addresses are there. Now, this last question does not have a star next to it, so it is optional. You don't have to say anything here if you don't want to, but if you want to add anything specific, like the question says, question 5, let us know if there's anything specific you want to discuss at your interview in the space below. For example, like maybe you have a question about one of the devices you're using, or you have a conflict on one of the Wednesdays we're scheduled to meet. If you have any kind of questions or you have anything you want to let us know about, just put it there. And if you might not be able to come to one of the Wednesdays, just tell us. We're very flexible. We can figure it all out. But you don't have to put anything there. And if you're not sure what to put there yet, if you don't have any questions, nothing comes to mind, leave it blank. And don't worry, because if you want to ask us something specific later, you'll have plenty of time to talk about that at your interview. So this last option here, this last box is also optional, and it says send a text reminder to. So if you use text messaging and you'd like us to send you a reminder the day before your interview, which will include the Zoom meeting link, which is handy in case you accidentally lost it, you just put in your text number there. Put in your area code and text number in that box, and we'll send you one. Again, this is optional, but here's a little Trivial Pursuit tip for you. See this little star, this flag here, this U.S. flag? That's an international calling code. And when you put your number, when you click in the box, it's automatically going to add the +1 because it's in the United States. And just so you can see, if you click the flag, there's lots of other countries and country flags, and they all have different calling codes because every country has a different one. Don't change that unless you're in another country, because it'll mess up the text system. And if you do change it, if you are in another country, well, I'm sorry, but you have to be in the United States, in a Rhode Island's resident, or you have to, meet some other qualifications, but not for people out of state. Donald doesn't have a phone. He doesn't do messaging, so he's not gonna click that. So you can leave it blank. Then you click schedule event. First, just double check, make sure everything's in there the right way, and you do schedule event, okay? Now I just want to show you one thing before I do that, to show you what happens. So I'm going to put this in there so it's not a full email address. See, it's only got duckskanai@gmail, but it doesn't have the .com, so that is not considered a full email address. So if you don't put your whole email address in, watch what happens when you click schedule event. ... Oh, it's not working. If you just still see this page, it means it's not working. So go back up and see, what did I miss? Oh, look, it tells you missed this. So it'll highlight it in red and give you a message saying email format is invalid. Valid examples. So they're telling you have to use a format like this. First name, if you have one with a dot in the middle, John.doe, if Donald's was Donald.duck, and you put @Gmail, but you have to add the com. Otherwise, it's not going to work, and you won't be able to schedule your interview. So I'm going to just go back up there and just add it. I click there, and I just type d.com. Now, I'm going back down, see everything else is still there. And now I'm going to schedule the event. And see, you'll know you're successful because this message comes up. Confirmed, you are scheduled with Advocates in Action. Once you do that, check your email, because we are going to send you a confirmation message, and it's going to have a link in it to join us at your interview. So here is what the confirmation message looks like. If you'll notice at the top, it says this message is to confirm Donald Duck's Leadership Series interview with Advocates in Action. Yours is not going to say Donald Duck, unless your name is Donald Duck, which would be quite the coincidence. So you'll see that your interview is scheduled for Thursday, February 4th, 2021 at 1 o'clock, which is the time that we just chose. The next thing that you'll see is you go down here, and this red box, it says this is a Zoom web conference, and there is a link there to join your meeting. Now this is really important, okay? It's going to be so tempting to click that link right away, but please don't do that yet. Wait until the day of your interview, a few minutes before it's ready to start, before you click the link. Some of the other important things in this message are just what we mentioned before about the fact that this is your personal link, so don't share it with anyone else. Lower down on the email, it says you could also dial in using your phone. We really don't want people to do that. We prefer everybody uses video. You're going to have to use the video during the class because everyone needs to see each other. And the other reason why is because it'll cost you money. It won't cost you money to do it by video, but it'll cost you money if you call on the phone. So don't use the phone number. This is the top part of the email. As you scroll down, you'll also see that there is a link there because during the interview, we're going to talk about the requirements for the class and some of the expectations. And you can, they were in the application form, but you can also get a copy of them at that link. So if you click on that link in the red box, you will be able to go on our website and get a copy of the requirements. So next you'll see, moving down the page, you'll see that it says in these two boxes, the light blue says add to Google Calendar and the dark blue says add to iCal/Outlook. So now honestly, if you don't know what that means right now, this is not the time to learn it. We're going to show you things like that in the class, but if you, just for the short version, it's if you use one of those calendar apps, you can click on those buttons and it will add it to your calendar for you. But if you don't know what that means, don't worry. So at the bottom on the email, it says, this is how you make changes. So everyone who comes who's in the class needs to come for an interview. That includes support staff. It doesn't, because everybody who's there is in the class. And so we need to, talk to you and meet with you ahead of time because there's only a limited amount of space and the interview is an interview. If you schedule your interview and you need to reschedule it, you can click that button to do it. The button on the left there that says reschedule. And if you need to cancel it, you can do that too. Either way, also please call us or send us an email when you're changing your interview. That will help us to, we have to organize the entire interview schedule for all of the other applicants too. So do that as soon as possible. And that is all there is for now. We'll see you soon.